Dear students of class 8A and 8B, welcome to this class, History and Civics. Today's lesson, lesson number 2, the Industrial Revolution and Imperialism. In this lesson today, I shall discuss about the role of Britain, the role of Belgium, the role of United Nations, the role of France as industrialized nations or countries of Europe. You know, Industrial Revolution first took place in England. England was the country where Industrial Revolution for the first time Industrial Revolution took place there. But ultimately, England's industrial policies attracted other countries of Europe. They also, you know, they also followed the techniques, the methods, the policies of Britain, and later on, one by one, got themselves established in the field of industrial development throughout Europe. Before Industrial Revolution, Belgium had a relations with Britain only for her textile industries. The textile industry of Belgium helped her to establish good and cordial relations with Britain. But that incident took place before Industrial Revolution. But after Industrial Revolution, the technology, the industrial policies which gave them success, which gave England success, the same technique, the same style, the same policies were followed by Belgium, and England helped Belgium to be a part of Industrial Revolution only because of a good relations with Belgium before Industrial Revolution. Belgium utilized her natural resources, abundant supply of coal, enormous supply of iron, and availability of river routes helped Belgium to be self-sufficient. Naturally, in course of time, Belgium became the doorway of Industrial Revolution throughout Europe. Belgium became a gateway of Industrial Revolution in Europe. The use of steam engine also led to an increase in coal production of output of Belgium. A number of places of Belgium also became centers of industrial revolution. One of the most important cities of Belgium, Ghent. Ghent became a great center of industrial revolution, and that very center, Ghent, became a successful textile city because it already had a well-established linen industry, and that linen industry and the river routes, the rivers in Belgium helped Belgium helped Belgium to transport and to distribute goods and machinery very effectively. That's why Belgium became a great center of industrial revolution. After Belgium, another country of Europe, France, also became a very important part of industrial revolution. The industrial revolution was not confined to Britain for long. The industrial revolution was not confined to Britain for long, but the other European countries the other European countries also gradually industrialized. For example, as I mentioned, Belgium and another one, France. Now I am going to discuss about the role of France during industrial era. What happened to France? France, from the very, very beginning, remained busy in facing a lot of political problems. The political crisis of France also had become a great factor for its drawbacks. She was unable to follow the technique and method of Britain and the pathway of Belgium. That's why France could not improve her industrial policy only because of internal problem. The uncertain political scenario of France, and the limited availability of natural resources such as coal, such as iron, discouraged large investments in France during industrial age. Besides, Napoleonic wars also, interrupted the way of growth and development in France during industrial era. The introduction of steam engine ultimately helped France to rise its coal production. And who helped it? Britain helped France. Britain helped France by introducing the steam engine, and ultimately it helped France to a rise in coal production. The use of spindles also adapted from Britain, and it also helped to increase in textile production. The province of Alsace and Lorraine of France also gave her extra advantages. For example, Alsace and Lorraine, these two provinces of France, had reservoirs of iron and coal which were used during middle of 19th century for the growing railway industry in France. Although industrial revolution started late in France, yet it continued its role as one of the top industrial nations in Europe throughout the 19th century and 19th and 20th centuries. France's industrial transformation has earned her the place of a great power in contemporary world, contemporary times. Then another one, Germany. Germany became a part of industrial revolution after the unification of 33 states. There were 33 states of Britain. There were 36 states of Germany. These all were disunited, but after its unification, Germany became a part of industrial revolution. As a result of the unification of these 36 states of Germany, the industrial production in Germany grew rapidly improved, and by the end of that century, Germany began to utilize its large reservoirs of iron and coal, and ultimately Germany became the world leader in chemical industries. That chemical industries of Germany gave her a strong position during industrial age. At the same time, the advent of the railways in Germany gave a strong a strong position throughout Europe. As a result, Germany was able to produce, steel. Germany was able to rise steel production. Germany was able to start steel production and machinery and mechanical engineering. So this is for Germany. And last one, United States. The United States of America, the United States during 18th century, when Britain and Belgium were industrializing, the US was still an agricultural and natural resource producing area or resource processing economy. It had no industry during that time when both these two countries were industrializing, Britain and Belgium. But it was only in the 19th century and 19th and 20th centuries that the United States rose as an industrial power, and that development of machine tools was the base for the rise of the United States as the world's leading industrial nation in the late 19th and 20th century. So by this way, these important countries of the world, one of the most important countries of the world, United States, became a very strong nation only because of our technologies, policies, other resources, and these resources, of course, they followed from the two important countries, Britain and Belgium, and ultimately became a self-sufficient country of Europe. And ultimately, US became a most important place and world's leading industrial nation in 19th century. Up to this, my dear students, thank you.